A very good morning to you, Namibia, and thank you so much for joining us on this beautiful morning. My name is Johnny Konja, and I'll bring you the State of the Region address live from Ohangwena region. Now, this is a region that has, of course, faced quite a lot in terms of administration as well. We recently just noticed, of course, the appointment of the retired Lieutenant General Sebastian Ndeitunga, who was appointed in November last year by the belated President of the Republic of Namibia, Dr. Ndeitunga. Now, we are going to be listening to him later on, just in a few minutes, to hear from him exactly what has been happening in the past financial year in terms of development, in terms of the challenges and the future plans that the region, of course, has in place to empower its community. Now, we are going to be taking a look at what is going to be, of course, delivered in his speech later on, speaking of some of the development of projects, infrastructure development, as well as some of the concerns that the public or the residents of the Ohangwena region, of course, have experienced in the past financial year. Now, we're also going to be taking a look at, or also taking a listen rather, from the residents themselves as our team took to the streets to hear from them. Also to speak about the expectations they have from the governor and the government at large. Now, for now, let's take a look at what this beautiful region actually have to offer in terms of the sights and sounds. Let's take you through the Inanna town to make you look at what exactly this town has to offer, so that for you, perhaps who haven't visited this town yet, you know what to expect in these sights and sounds. Let's take a look. That the arrivals of all residents, the local authorities as well as the town council has now made its way into the hall. We are reporting live from the hall that is, of course, designated here in Inanna for where exactly the State of the Region address is going to be taking place. Usually the protocol, or rather the known procedure, is that the State of the Region address actually takes place at the regional council chambers, but for this year's one in the Ohangwena region is going to be taking place at Monte Carlo here in the Inanna constituency. Now, just a little bit more about what the Ohangwena region is really all about. It is, of course, one of Namibia's 14 administrative regions, and it's located in the northern part of the country, and it shares the border with Angola to the north, and is known for its rich cultural heritage and traditional practices. The region is primarily rich with, of course, rural, primarily rural, with agriculture being a mainstay of the economy. Particularly subsistence farming is what is mostly practiced here, with, of course, with some of the supplies of water coming from the Oshanas that are here close by into some of the areas of some of the constituencies or locations here in the Inanna, or not rather Inanna, but Ohangwena region. Now, Ohangwena is also characterized by its traditional authority structures, which play a significant role in local governance and community life. The region capital is, of course, Inanna, where we are broadcasting live from in a rapidly developing town that serves an administrative and commercial center. Now, we are also here to, of course, form the public, the important citizens of this capital, to also hear from them exactly in terms of what they want to be, to be approved or adhered to and addressed in the State of the Region address that we'll be hearing from in just a couple of minutes. So let's take a listen to what some of the residents, of course, being young and old from the Ohangwena region in terms of the expectations and, of course, what the improvements they want to see in the region.
Has been able to take up the responsibility of young people with startup investments being really done significantly on small companies that have been there, that have been set up. The opportunities have expanded in terms of that.
In this region, one thing that I've noticed is teenage pregnancy. A lot of young girls are getting pregnant, especially those ones in their uniform. You will see a young girl in a uniform that is pregnant.
I observe that our region is developing very nice because they are even building water pipes here so that we can have a clean water in our region.
Pangelo to tengo kujotali tuningingo nande hai nimesha wanapo maranga shikombinga miapefe neto kuchena totali kakandro pongo ni yemo edition.
Here there's University of Science, which is actually a good thing, which cuts the cost of traveling to Windhoek and and going to Windhoek, which is costly. But here in Ohangwena region, there's an institution, NAST, which offer good courses. Those are the positive things that I've seen about Ohangwena region.
The renovation and the construction of the Onuno Road to Enana, since last year we have noticed that it has been being renovated. In the potholes that drivers are facing heading to Enana to Onuno, they are also being
the biggest challenges we have in our region is just alcohol and drug abuse. We have been also able to see that. I've been able to see a lot of young people a bit demotivated ever since graduating, not really having jobs. And I'm certain that that's just an issue across the whole country. But given that our population is very big, I would really say that it's one of the biggest challenges that I've experienced.
We face that our region is very dirty here. This side, there are not enough toilets, so the air is polluted with the sewages.
I expect that the governor talks about the development of schools, is to say baby steps are taken in making sure that rural schools are getting classes slowly and but surely, and not only urban schools are getting supplies. However, these supplies are also given to rural schools so that each and every single Namibian child gets free and fair education.
Ayo moju no me ango kashikomia stopura ku tulena na befo na ya no mapsango mwina jana wangu ni oshiga tu kenda baranga mpelo fifty ngono ni mapeshe pamongo ne ngashi kumbinga shikukuta ambalo tashi tudenga shona.
I'm expecting the governor to talk more about the shortage of water, electricity and safety on Oshikanko.
There are schools without electricity. There are schools with only gravel roads, no third roads, and this causes teachers to transfer, and this transfer is not a two-way transfer but a one-way transfer where teachers are leaving those schools going to urban schools. And other challenges that mostly schools face is the lack of electricity, lack of water supply. Children have to walk distances for them to get water, or they have to come with water from their houses to go to school, and electricity is not there. Schools have to make use of other schools' printing machines or copy papers and whatnot, and this hinders the education sector in the region.
I'm expecting the governor to really speak on the key issues, which are 71% of our population is young people. How are the young people really going to be involved in the development of the region? How are the young people really going to be given the opportunities to be at the forefront of that development? I look forward to seeing what infrastructural outlines are clear in terms of just first and foremost where we stand as a region. Some offices are still not in my hometown. I've been here for a long time. Enana is the capital town of Ohangwena region, but the development is quite short. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what is the strategic outlook of the region, and more so importantly, how I can be involved as a young person.
Develop ngoli nenenga fshine ka minga yenzila enbinga kashi mbinga kwenzila ku ai tulia dengwa ka mafululu ne nambara kashana otapu ngwe tu edire kunjila tutamngu kholondo aba kholondo tatu angutea opongwe mapatafana kale.
That's right, you are still watching the live broadcast of the State of the Region address of the Ohangwena region, coming to you live from Enana. Now, one of the challenges we just heard from that actually probably stands out from what we just heard from the residents of the Ohangwena region is perhaps water scarcity, and Ohangwena struggles with limited access to clean water and reliable resources. Many communities mostly rely on boreholes. If you just heard in the last one of the residents who just spoke there, and many communities also rely on these boreholes, which sometimes can be unreliable, especially during the dry season, knowing that the country, of course, went through a significant drought period, and the region's groundwater resources are often limited and unreliably distributed. Now, we are going to be hearing from the governor to also ponder on some of the challenges and also the opportunities that lie to distribute water to its communities all around Ohangwena region. And of course, probably a lot might say that it's just been 10 months that the governor has been in office here in the Ohangwena region. But what exactly has been done in those past 10 months? We are, of course, aware that the former governor of the Ohangwena region, Sebastian, has been relieved of his duties just before the new governor was, appointed by the latest president of the Republic of Namibia. That was just in November. And we are also going to be talking about infrastructure development and education as well. While efforts have been made to improve the educational facilities, many schools in the region still face shortages of qualified teachers, especially educational materials and proper infrastructure. This impact of the quality of education and the ability of students to actually succeed. We also just heard from one of the students who just spoke there in the Vox Pops we just brought to you earlier, that some of the challenges they also face is the long distances they have to walk to the schools, and even sometimes for those who are not from the Ohangwena region, the challenges that persist is being, having proper infrastructure facilities at the hostels, and also to be getting the right services they are required to have. Healthcare service also remains a prevailing challenge here in the Ohangwena region. If you have watched Good Morning Namibia, I was speaking to a youth activist who also, mentioned that some of the, the clinics are very, very, very far from, the main hospital that they are supposed to get the services from, and they are, asking that the government perhaps build a proper or bigger infrastructure in terms of health for them to be assisted, for those not to, lose their lives, especially when they are coming from longer distances, and also the mode of transport that they even have to get there sometimes would not allow, due to the sandy roads that the Ohangwena region mostly has, especially in the villages that are deeper in the area. So access to healthcare remains a challenge, with many people in rural areas having to travel long distances, like I mentioned earlier, to reach clinics and hospitals. And the region also faces shortages of medical personnel and supplies that hinder effective healthcare delivery. Food security also remains a challenge, not only in the region, of course, but in other regions, especially in the country. And the region's reliance on subsistence farming makes it vulnerable of food insecurity, especially during periods such as drought that we are currently under. So we are going to be expecting the governor to also touch on that, especially to also know what has been made in terms of the funds that are distributed by government, to also make sure that food security is, of course, a priority that is taken under consideration here in the Ohangwena region, especially in the areas that are far from the main center, or the main hub, or the main capital, if you say so, in the Ohangwena region. We also understand that, malnutrition also has become a very big issue in this region as well. So what are some of those solutions that the government have put in place to combat these issues such as that? So limited access to farming inputs and unpredictable water patterns also will become one of the areas that the governor also has to touch on. Speaking about infrastructure development, the region's infrastructure, including roads and telecommunications and electricity, is fairly underdeveloped, according to many reports in the past. And we are also going to be seeing in the past financial year, has there been a new electricity built? Are there any under construction at the moment? And what can we expect in terms of the distribution of electricity to the local communities, not only in Enana, but also in areas that are close by? And talking about some other areas as well, poor road networks that hinder transportation and access to services are also one of the areas that needs to be touched by the governor as well. On our way, with my team and I on our way here, we did notice some of the new infrastructures and an improvement of roads that are still, that are underway from being turned from gravel roads into that is sub-tiered roads. And we are also going to be hearing exactly which specific road have been developed, what has been the budget allocated to those areas especially, and what are the future plans in terms of the routes that needs to be created, of course in terms of the improvements as well, to hear from what perspective the government really has decided to bring up that perspective. Now we are also under the same knowledge that now the governor will be tabling this State of the Region address in just a few minutes. We are still waiting for some of the arrivals. What you are seeing there is some of the public members, business people from the Ohangwena region who have made their way at the Monte Carlo Guest House main hall, where the State of the Region address is going to be taking place, and we are going to be hearing more from them now. Now the governor, as you can see, is ready to give us the State of the Region address. We are now going to head over there in just a moment. But perhaps another issue that also is a very, very crucial one to touch on is cross-border issues. I did mention earlier that this is a region that's close to the border of Angola, and the Ohangwena proximity in the border with Angola actually presents challenges such as cross-border smuggling and informal trade, and sometimes issues related to border security. And these challenges can strain resources and complicate government efforts. During the time when the retired Lieutenant General was still the Inspector General, he of course made the necessary reports during his tenure when we heard about the amount of challenges that the police had encountered in terms of smuggling of illegal goods from exactly the Angolan border. And this was a challenge that the police at the time and still currently faced, and was of course trying to come up with more reasons to strengthen the law enforcement to make sure that that is not a challenge that actually becomes a challenge in terms of cross-border issues between Namibia and Angola. So we are going to be hearing as well on what exactly are some of the challenges that are going to be the new solutions as well that are going to be in place to make sure that this doesn't become a common issue because this can also bring up challenges as well, or perhaps bad relationships with the country, with our neighboring country Angola. And we are going to be quite prevalent in terms of what really can be done to combat that challenge, in terms of what really needs to be done. We do know of the many products that the Namibian Revenue Agency was making sure to not let into the country. Many confiscations have been done in terms of the products that are illegal and are not allowed in the country in terms of customs and excise. Now, we are going to be coming to you live from Ohangwena region. My name is Johnny Konja, and you are still tuned in to the State of the Region address. Earlier on, we just show you how the occupants in the main hall is looking like, and we are still just waiting for a few moments before the governor of the Ohangwena region, Sebastian Ndeitunga, to deliver the much anticipated State of the Region address. Now, Perhaps one of the other challenges that we are still going to be hearing from is the challenge in terms of the HIV and AIDS, as well as the other health-related issues. That also is a challenge in this very region. The region has a high prevalence of HIV and AIDS, which possesses a significant health challenge. And this is compounded by limited healthcare infrastructure and challenges in reaching remote communities with health services, and especially, and most importantly, health education. What is the way forward in terms of reducing this statistics for the health and HIV and AIDS statistics to also be encountered? And addressing these challenges required coordinated efforts in both the government and local communities, focusing especially on infrastructure development, when we just addressed earlier that the health services or the infrastructure of the health services here are perhaps not adequate enough or not up to standard for them to be brought to standard. And the focusing on infrastructure development and improving access of service and creating economic opportunities. Now we are now going to cross to the Governor to hear the State of the Region address of Ohangwena Region 2024. Governor, it's over to you.
Thank you.
Officer of Ohangwena Regional Council, Honorable Chiteke Matibe, leader of the delegation and a member of the Executive Council of Economic Development, Environment and Tourism, and your delegation from Limpopo Province, South Africa, your worships, the mayors of Enana, Elao, Nafidi Town, honorable local authority councillors, the chairperson of Okongo Village Council, Her Majesty Mekulu Malta Mwadinomo ya Christian Nerumbu, Wahamba ya Ukwanyama, and the other traditional leaders present, Comrade Philemon Joshua, the SWAPO Party Regional Coordinator for Ohangwena Region, and the other political party present or representative here. Let me stand on the protocol as established by the chairperson. I am indeed honored, very much pleased to deliver my first State of Regional Address, SORA, as a governor of the Ohangwena region for the 2023-2024 financial year, in accordance with the Article 110A, subsection 5 and 6 of the Namibian Constitution, being the last governor appointed by the late President on the 15th November 2023, I'm honored to deliver this State of the Regional Address in memory of His Excellency, the late President, Dr. Hage Geingob. We can all recall February 2024 as a time of national mourning and bidding farewell to our late President. The Ohangwena Regional stood in solidarity with the whole nation in mourning and bidding farewell to the gallant son of the soil. May his giant soul continue to rest in eternal peace. Over and above, let me appreciate the fact that His Excellency President Nangolo Mbumba stood up to the task of leading our nation during that difficult period and filled the potential leadership vacuum to ensure that Namibia remains a peaceful and stable condition or countries. Honorable Chairperson, honorable members, Comrade Chief Regional Officer, since we are reporting for the period from 1st April 2023 to 1st to 31st March 2024, I would like to take this opportunity to highlight notable accomplishments by the region during the period under review. Upon commencing my duty as a governor on the 20 November 2023, my priority was to ensure a smooth transition from my predecessor, Honorable Walden Ndeitunga, and to understand the challenges faced by the region. I am grateful for my predecessor for a peaceful and a cordial handover process, which was carried out smoothly. Former governors, Comrade Usko Ngamwa and Comrade Bill Mwaningange, along with the chairperson of the management committee of the Ohangwena Regional Council, honorable regional councillors, and the chief regional officer, witnessed the handover ceremony. At the beginning of my term as a governor, I conducted an analysis and liaised with key stakeholders in the region, which revealed the two critical issues that needed urgent attention, such as lack of potable water in certain areas and the poor road network in the region. As a result, I have made it a top priority to address the delivery of potable water and improve the road network in the region in order to uplift living standards of our people and foster regional development. Promoting unity and coordination with the regional council, local authorities, and the traditional authorities was crucial to strengthen cooperation, working together in a patriotic manner and ensuring the successful implementation of government programs and the projects in the region. While we have made significant progress in this respect, we need to further strengthen our unity to continue working smoothly for the benefit of our people in the region and beyond. Honorable Chairperson, honorable members, comrades, chief regional officers, my office has been dealing with the issue of Namibian cattle farming or grazing in Angola. Following a meeting between the foreign ministers of the two countries, Honorable Ndeitunga and Ndeitunga, the current Vice President of the Republic of Namibia, and His Excellency Tete Antonio, and the farmers on the 12th January 2024 in Helawa Nafidi town, my office held further meetings with the farmers to update them on the situation. This meeting focused mostly on explaining specific requirements for farmers to continue grazing in southern Angola and ensuring compliance with the requirement agreed upon between the two governments. We are actively monitoring this situation and remain committed to working closely with our Angolan counterparts. Traditional authorities from both countries to work with the farmers grazing in Angola and other relevant stakeholders to find a sustainable solution to these issues. I would therefore like to take this opportunity to commend the government of the Republic of Angola, especially the governor of the province of Kunene, Her Excellency Geraldine Ulipamwe Didalerwa, and the governor of the province of Kwandu Kubango, His Excellency Jose Martins, for their understanding and their cooperation in promoting the well-being of both nations. Honorable Chairperson, honorable members, comrade Chair, Chief Regional Officers, it is important to emphasize that our regional programs are guided by the national policies such as Vision 2030, the 5th National Development Plan, NDP5, and the Harambee Prosperity Plan 2. Political situation in the region. During the review periods, the political situation in Ohangwena region remained stable and peaceful. Economic advancement, Ministry of Industrialization and Trade. The ministry facilitated the registration of over 100 close cooperation companies, waived off annual penalties for 87 companies, and they trained 100 small and medium enterprises through the impact program, with the majority being youth and the women. The ministry also supported the 13 SME with equipment through the equipment aid program worth 343,497 Namibian dollar 0.87 cents. Infrastructure development, roads infrastructures. 3 district roads, namely Epinga to Nakalunga, Endola to Epembe, and the Nana Omanda access roads, covering a total distance of 36 kilometers, were completed at a cost of 131.5 million Namibian dollar. It is also worth noting that the rehabilitation of a Nana Onuno road, which has started in February 2022, is still ongoing. Education infrastructures. During the year under review, the Directorate of Education, Arts and Culture received 15 classrooms, 1 science laboratory, and 1 library donated through the Friends of Education initiative, worth more than 4 million Namibian dollars. Through the basic education facilities, strategy for classrooms, a conversion of a classroom into a science laboratory, and the 2 teacher houses were completed at a cost of 1.6 million Namibian dollars, contracted to the August 26 contracting companies. Furthermore, through the ministerial strategies, classroom initiative, the directorates constructed the 42 classrooms and the 7 ablution facilities at the 7 schools comprising of primary, combined, and the project schools. For the 2024-2025 financial year, the directorate has planned to construct 70 classrooms at 13 schools at the cost of 23.1 million Namibian dollars, to renovate 10 schools at the cost of 7.1 million Namibian dollars in the region. I am also pleased to report that the Directorate of Education regional office has been completed to the tune of 64.8 million Namibian dollars. Energy infrastructures. Ministry of Mines and Energy. During the period under review, the ministry implemented the rural electrification projects in the region, worth 11.5 million Namibian dollar through NamPower, benefiting the following schools: Omoni Combined, Shatiwa Primary, Okadia Combined, Udeiko Haufiku Primary, and Shweda primary in the constituencies development fund, electrification project, 11 locations were electrified through the constructions development fund at the cost of 3.5 million Namibian dollars. These projects were implemented in Ohangwena, Engela, Ongenga, Umulonga, Oshikango, Ondobe constituencies. NORAD's electrification. NORAD implemented the 2 capital projects worth 670,000 Namibian dollars, namely fencing mini substations and substations in Enana, Helao Nafidi, and Okongo, and installations of grid protections, reclosers in Enana and Helao Nafidi towns. To promote access to renewable energy in rural areas, NORAD, in partnership with the German Development Bank, KfW, is implementing the Green People's Energy Initiative for Africa, under which it is expected that the Ukango electrification project in the Ohangwena region will connect 300 households to the electricity grids. Water infrastructures. Development the Aquifer 2. The region's abundant underground water resources, Aquifer 2, has the potential to provide water to all residents and beyond. Yet progress in enhancing these water resources has been painful slow, with only 7 boreholes currently tapping into Aquifer 2. Therefore, we look forward to seeing the process of developing Aquifer 2 expedited in order to resolve the pressing water scarcity in the region. Subdivision water supply and the sanitation coordination. 45 boreholes, 7 deep and 38 shallow, were drilled and installed in Ndaungilo, Epembe, Okongo, and Oshikunde constituencies at the cost of more than 31.6 million Namibian dollars. 1 borehole was rehabilitated in Oshikunde constituency at the cost of 90,000 Namibian dollars. 16 short kilometers pipeline were constructed in the region during the period under review. 1,342 private offtakes were connected to individual households in Enana, Endola, Engela, Epembe, Ohangwena, Ondobe, Ongenga, Umulonga, and Oshikango constituencies. 2 mini desalination plants were constructed at Ohangwena and Osongwe, in Ndaungilo, and the Pembe constituencies. 7 earth dams were planned, of which 6 were constructed in Endola, Ongenga, Engela, Ohangwena, Oshikango, Ondobe, and Omulonga constituencies at a cost of 2.5 million Namibian dollars. 35 boreholes are planned to be drilled and installed in Okongo, Epembe, Ndaungilo, and Oshikunde constituencies. 1,000 private offtakes are planned to be connected in all 12 constituencies. 2 traditional wells are planned to be upgraded in Ndaungilo and Okongo constituencies. NamWater project. NamWater is implementing the following ongoing projects in the region. expansion of water supply through the Ohangwena 2 well-filled water supply scheme involving the upgrading of Omakango, Onambutu, and Omafo Enana water scheme worth 250 million Namibian dollars. Oshikango pipeline reroads, the planned Omundaungilo, Omalapapa, Omcheonime pipeline scheme, and Ohangwena aquifer climate resilient water supply. Division of Development Planning, Ohangwena Regional Council. Street roads were constructed at the Onga settlement at the cost of 1.5 million, and the water shower services were constructed at Ongenga settlement for 53 residential events and 54 business events at a combined cost of 3.6 million Namibian dollars. Division Gender Equality, Poverty Eradication and Social Welfare. A total of 58,935 children have been registered on the social grant system, and the old age and the disability grant system has 28,900 beneficiaries. Income granting or income generation activities. Income generation projects in Ondobe and Okongo were funded at a cost of 115,000 Namibian dollars. Psychosocial support services. Several awareness campaigns were carried out, reaching 5,012 school children during school talks, 5,949 community members, 1,090 boys and men were sensitized on gender-based violence, prevention and response, violence against children and trafficking in persons, and 3,540 community members reached on providing child care services. The division also investigated 768 cases for misuse of grants. Educator or Educator, and the provision of water tanks. The region has 763 Educator, of which 133 of them are receiving government subsidies. In response to sanitation needs, at the Early Childhood Development Center, 65 water tanks were connected and the funds were allocated to their installations or for their installations. Disability Affairs, home visit conducted during the period under review. Over 400 people with disabilities were visited in their homes and given advice on their diverse needs and the conditions. However, many individuals lack necessities such as food, bedding, and sensitive devices like wheelchairs, and the general hygiene and the cleanliness. The majority of them are left unattended for long hours. I therefore urge caretakers who look after people with disability to make a good use of their social grants and to always provide them with the necessary assistance they need. Student funds. 19 students with disability were funded during the financial year. One student has dropped out of school. 7 have completed their studies, and 8 are continuing this year. However, there are still many children with disabilities who are not attending mainstream schools. Individual support. 121 individuals were provided with support items such as milk, nappies, portable toilets, and the pre-exposure prophylaxis, with an additional 40 individuals currently waiting for their support items to be delivered. Grant monitoring and the referrals. More than 130 people were referred to disability grants, but only 46 individuals received their grant. People with visual impairment, epilepsies, and other conditions that medical staff believe are manageable with medication are struggling to access disability grants. Ministry of Environment, Forestry and Tourism, Director of Forestry. The Directorate of Forestry completed the following project during 2023-2024 financial year. The construction of a new Okongo Forestry Complex is in the final phase of completion, 95%, with a budgetary allocation of 3.9 million Namibian dollars. The Okongo Community Forest Center in Omauni was electrified with funding from the Namibian Integrated Landscape Approach for enhancing livelihood and the environmental governance to eradicate poverty project. The Okongo Community Forest Carpentry Workshop was upgraded from an operational model to a business model for 2 million Namibian dollars. Umfitu Wekuta Community Forest has received a climate change grant of 1.5 million from the Environmental Investment Fund for the mushroom projects in Onehanga village. A total of 26 casual workers were employed at Enana, Okongo, Epembe, Onga, Omafo, and Ongenga forest nurseries, as well as at the Epundi departmental plantations in the Engela constituency. The Directorate of Forestry, in conjunction with the Ohangwena Regional Council, produced and distributed 26,533 fruit trees seedling to the various communities in the region. A further producing machine for the Okongo Conservancy was purchased at a cost of 125,000 Namibian dollars. Honorable Chairperson, honorable members, comrades, chief regional officers. At this juncture, I would also like to take this opportunity to point out that the ministry has rehabilitated several borrow pits in the region at a higher cost, but some people continue to mine sand from the rehabilitated borrow pits. Please note that illegal sand mining is a serious crime. Ministry of Sports, Youth, National Service. I would like to highlight the critical need of sport infrastructure development in our region. It is regrettable that the prolonged construction of the Enana Sports Stadium is hindering much needed sport activities and limiting opportunities for our youth. It is, however, encouraging to know that Phase 5 of the stadium is currently under construction with an allocated budget of 20 million Namibian dollars for the reporting period. It is therefore important that more efforts should be made and the corresponding financial resources should be allocated to fast-track the construction of the Nana Sports Stadium. The ministry initiated the standardized HIV/AIDS prevention program for priority populations with the support of USAID, and so far in the Ohangwena region, 140 youth have been trained from October 2023 to March 2024. In terms of employment and the training, 20 youth were trained between November and December 2023 under the Namibian Youth Credit Scheme, with 15 graduates receiving loans of 80,000 Namibian dollars each to start or expand their business. The 121 young enterprise funded the Ondobe Youth Enterprise with a loan of 350,000 Namibian dollars, and the Chicago Youth Enterprise received 180,354 Namibian dollars. Minister of Defense, Veteran Affairs. The following veteran programs were implemented during the period under review. Financial assistance. To enhance the socio-economic well-being of veterans, 3 categories of financial assistance were provided: one-time bonus, monthly financial assistance, and the social assistance improvement grant. Under the one-time bonus, an amount of 250,000 Namibian dollars was paid out to 5 veterans, while 121 beneficiaries received a monthly financial assistance of 2,200 Namibian dollars each. 92 former planned combatants and the political prisoners from Robben Island and the Kai Hanasab received 4,000 Namibian dollars, while 26 received 3,000 monthly improvement welfare allowances. Individual veterans project. From March 2023, March 2024, 126 individual veterans projects were funded in Ohangwena region, amounting to 21,420,000 Namibian dollars. Funeral assistance and the tombstone constructions. A total of 60 funeral assistance grants were awarded to deceased veterans in the region, totaling 600,000 Namibian dollars. Additionally, 137 tombstones were constructed in the region with a total value of over 1.1 million Namibian dollars. Ministry of Agriculture, Water and Land Reform. Regional Resettlement Committee. The Ohangwena Regional Resettlement Committee received 332 applications. However, only 1 person was resettled, with expenses totaling 93,683.50 cents. Communal Land Board. Under the Communal Land Board, a total of 1,428 customary land rights were presented to the board for ratification, where 105 1,416 land rights were provided, certificates issued to traditional authorities. The board also approved 20 rights to lease applications, while 2 occupational land rights applications were also approved. The board attended to 43 land-related disputes, with 19 disputes resolved, 11 referred to traditional authorities for further investigations. 5 land dispute appeals were received, where 3 are resolved, while 2 are pending judgment. Rental fees amounting to 57,106 Namibian dollar, 0.79 cents were allocated or collected from communal land leasehold. 40 legal offenses were investigated and mapped in the Okongo constituency, with 21 given a 30-day notice to remove the offenses. 6 of them appealed the decisions, while 7 of the illegal offenses were voluntarily removed. Farming and maintenance support services were provided to Sani communities in the Ndobe, Onamatadiva, Oshanashiwa, and the Koka projects in the Okongo constituency, with a total expenditure of 318,007,000 Namibian dollars. 318,007,449 Namibian dollars. The Directorate of Agriculture, Production, Extension, and Engineering Services. The Directorate is doing very well in implementing agriculture programs such as subsidized services, comprehensive conservation agriculture program, Northern Namibia smallholder horticultures, empowerment and promotion, National Horticulture Support Program, and the value addition in the livestock support program. Overall, about 9,139 farmers benefited from these programs. Ministry of Health and Social Services. During the year under review, the Ministry of Health and Social Services implemented several projects and the program to improve the resident health and the welfare. First, the construction of Onamafira Clinic is nearly completed, with only water and electricity installation that needed to be finalized. A new contractor for Onangulo Clinic has been appointed, and the work is progressing well. The cost for Onamafira Clinic was 17.6 million Namibian dollar, while Onangulo Clinic is about to be completed at the cost of 16.2 million Namibian dollars. Approval has also been granted to build a prefabricated clinic at Onamukulo Clinic. 2 prefabricated structures have been installed at Tomba and Ndapona to provide health services closer to the community, particularly for antiretroviral and TB treatment. The region has recruited 7 doctors, 36 registered nurses, 17 medical officers, 2 dentists, and a few specialists at Okongo, Enana, and the Ngera district hospitals. A successful eye care services campaign at the Ngera district hospital restored the vision of 468 patients. Tuberculosis remains a challenge in the region, where 910 TB cases were detected and subsequently put on treatment, giving a success rate of 80%. A total number of 49,403 people were tested for HIV, where 853 cases were confirmed positive, with the majority linked to the antiretroviral treatment. Currently, 28,732 patients are on ARV treatment in the region, with 85.3% of them achieving viral load suppressions. The prevention of the mother-to-child transmission program is well implemented in all health facilities to ensure that no child is born with HIV in the region. Out of 1,250 babies exposed to HIV, 18 were born with the virus. Teenage pregnancy continues to be a significant challenge in the region. A total number of 11,789 pregnancies were attended at the public health facilities for the reporting periods, and out of that, 2,102 were teenagers. The region reported a malaria outbreak between November 2023 and March 2024, with a total number of 2,302 cases reported, recording a 0.53% case fatality rate. In response to the malaria outbreak, indoor residual spraying was conducted, achieving 39% coverage of spraying domestic structures. Minister of Home Affairs, Immigration, Safety and Security completed the project. The Ndola Police Station and the Onuno Road Traffic checkpoints were constructed at a cost of 42,582,180 Namibian dollars, 0.64 cents, and 8,353,975 Namibian dollar, 0.75 cents, respectively. Rural Development Program. In order to improve the socio-economic status of rural communities, the region has implemented several projects under the following programs. One region, one initiative, 2 projects were implemented under this program in Ndeitunga in the Ndobe constituencies at the cost of 45,600 Namibian dollar, 0.30 cents. 2, Rural Development Center, the construction of the kitchen and the dining facility at the Billy Mwaningange Rural Development Center in Ndobe constituency is completed at the cost of $14,289,305, $5 Namibian dollars, 0.96 cents. Cash for food work, cash for food for work, 13 projects were implemented and they completed under the Cash Food for Work program, with a combined cost of 135,898 Namibian dollars during the period 2023-2024 financial years. 4, rural sanitation. The construction of 300 top structures of rural sanitation facilities were procured at a cost of 1,947,673 Namibian dollars, 0.85 cents. 5, microfinance. During the period under review, 9 projects were implemented under this program at a combined cost of 215,464 Namibian dollar, 10 cents. Urban development, Enana Town Council. Since its establishment in 1992, Enana, the regional capital of the Ohangwena region, has experienced tremendous growth. To date, the town has 10,197 approved plots. During the year under review, the Enana Town Council has implemented the following projects: housing delivery through smart partnership arrangement during 2023-2024. During the year under review, Enana Town Council constructed 78 houses through smart partnership at the cost of 47.1 million Namibian dollars. Furthermore, a special offer to first-time buyers was implemented, and 50 plots were reserved for sale to first-time buyers only during the year under review. Capital projects. The Enana Town Council made a budgetary provision of 29.4 million for the implementation of 9 capital projects. Among them, the proclamation and the servicing of 304 low-cost plots of Okango, construction of Enana Town Council offices complex, which is ongoing, and the construction of mini open markets at Enana District Hospital. Helao Nafidi Town Council. Helao Nafidi Town Council has implemented 8 developmental capital projects for the 2023-2024 financial year. Among them, electricity reticulation at Olungono Extension 6 and 7, Ohangwena proper, Sewa reticulation, and the new dump sites for Helao Nafidi town in Engela at a cost of more than 24 million Namibian dollars. Okongo Village Council. Okongo Village Council has implemented the following projects at the combined cost of 6.8 million Namibian dollars. Construction for Okongo Open Market Phase 2, road maintenance in Okongo Extension 2, construction of 28 federation houses, planning and surveying block 344 Okongo proper, and the construction of 15 built-together houses. Human capital development. University of Science and Technology NUST, Enana Satellite Campus, the NUST Enana Campus with a current population of 704 students, provides training and education through 22 different study programs: full-time study, part-time study, and distance studies. 72 students graduated during the first special graduation ceremony at the campus. In the National University of Management, IUM, the construction of IUM Enana campus started in 2023, and it is expected to open its doors in January 2025. Nor the electricity bursary provided, nor the paid out an amount of 85,460 Namibian dollars to a student who is pursuing a 4-year Bachelor of Accounting at UNAM. NAMCOL bursaries. NAMCOL awarded the bursaries to 15 students who are improving their studies at the different centers across the region to the value of 17,500 Namibian dollars. Social progression. Education improvement. During the period under review, the school enrollment increased from 121,393 in 2023 to 126,442 in 2024, with the number of schools increasing from 282 in 2023 to 290 in 2024. Furthermore, the number of schools offering Namibia senior secondary certificate advanced subsidiary level has also increased from 8 to 11 due to higher enrollment. During the period under review, the Directorate was ranked number 4 in the Namibian Senior Secondary Certificate Advanced Subsidiary, where 45.43% of learners obtained the quality symbols. At the Namibian Senior Secondary Certificate Ordinary level, a slight improvement was recorded with a 27.22% in the quality symbols, which resulted in the region being ranked at a position 11 as compared to position 13 in 2022. The region has also seen 22.37% of Namibia Senior Secondary Certificate Ordinary Level learners qualifying to proceed to Namibia Senior Secondary Certificate Advanced Subsidiary Level. Regionally, Engejo Secondary School and Oskunde Secondary School outperformed all secondary schools in the 2023 National Examination of Namibia Senior Secondary Certificate Advanced Subsidiary Level and the Namibia Senior Secondary Certificate Ordinary Level, respectively. On lifelong learning, 29 schools with grade 1 are providing family literacy programs to 587 parents or caregivers. The basic literacy program enrolled 1,353 learners, while 748 adult learners are enrolled in post-literacy programs. A total of 2,672 community members, 298 men, and 2,274 women were trained in 23 types of skills through the Community Learning and Development Center, annual grant. Honorable Chairperson, honorable members, Comrade Chief Regional Officer, challenges. Despite the region's achievements highlighted above, I would also like to point out some of the challenges faced by different sectors in the region. These challenges include the lack of potable water, inadequate road network, poor rainfall aggravated the drought situation in the region, insufficient budgetary allocation, and the late release of funds across all sectors, especially funds for capital projects, centralized functions in the budgets hindering the implementation of activities at the regional level, inadequate cares of vulnerable groups such as people with disability, the SANI communities, members, the elderly and the children. Even though the crime rate in the region is manageable, cases of cattle theft, theft of cylinders, pumps from boreholes, gender-based violence, and the smuggling of contraband products and the services, such as the Ngungula service, have been recorded in the region. Irregularity in communal land management and the allocation, including illegal fencing. The local authority are faced with inadequate funds for land survey, servicing, infrastructure maintenance, and compensations. Higher unemployment among the youth, slow paces of the aquifer to development, lack of sport facility in the region, and the slow pace in completing capital projects in the region. Opportunities. In the face of challenges, we should remember that there are also numerous opportunities in our region. We need to remain optimistic and confident that we can bring about a positive change in our lives. Let us not only or solely depend on government for everything. We have the power to use our knowledge and the skills, including indigenous skills and the knowledge, to improve our livelihoods. For example, we can capitalize on the region's potential for creating employment in sectors like agriculture, forestry, animal husbandry, and the local resources-based services industries. Additionally, we should explore trade and the collaboration with the neighboring Angola, particularly the province of Kunene and the Kwantu Kubangu that shares borders with our region. Most importantly, fostering solidarity among us and extends support to the most vulnerable and the marginalized members of our community, including the SANI communities and the people with disability. This is very crucial. Through solidarity, care, and the compassion, we can overcome challenges such as the current drought affecting our region. In conclusion, in summary, Honorable Chairperson, honorable members, I'm pleased to announce that the region has made notable progress in addressing socio-economic development issues. And I would therefore like to implore all stakeholders within the region to combine efforts and address the highlighted challenge in unison. I wish to conclude on a rather political note, urging all those who have registered to participate in the national election scheduled for 27 November 2024 to turn out in numbers and exercise their right to vote for their preferred candidate. Honorable Chairperson, honorable members, comrades, chief regional officers, ladies and gentlemen, may I thank you for the opportunity accorded to me to address this special council meeting. I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you present here today for your presence and for listening to our State of the Regional Address. Long live the resilient Ohangwena region. Long live the Republic of Namibia. God bless Namibia and God bless you all. I thank you.
Welcome back, and thank you so much for joining us. That was the State of the Regional Address of the Ohangwena region that was just tabled by the retired Lieutenant General Sebastian Ndeitunga, who is the current governor of the Ohangwena region. Now, we just heard a lot that has been said from the challenges that was mentioned, as well as the opportunities and the current projects and the ones that are completed here in the Ohangwena region. I was wondering also on what the governor has done as he's exactly at the beginning of his tenure in November, and also what has been done by the relieved governor who was in power at the time, that was Honorable Valde Ndeitunga. And now we're back to give you a post-analysis of what was said in terms of what stood out in the State of the Regional Address that was just given to us by the governor, as well as perhaps what needs to be addressed better in the State of the Regional Address, and also what the future holds for the State of the Regional Address. We are joined by Abed Feni, who is a youth advocate as well as a teacher here in the Ohangwena region in Enana. Thank you so much for joining us once again.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Well, what stood out for you in the State of the Regional Address that was delivered by the governor that really, you felt that was very, very important for him to address in his speech?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me back on live again on air. It was really such a good address for the first time that the governor I would like even to acknowledge that he himself made it possible and clear that it is his first regional address, and indeed it is one of the major, and it's one of the best address this far. The fact that the regional council is committed to making sure that they are providing and giving services as needed to people is really made that out during the entire address.
Absolutely. Who does the credit really go to? You know, we've had Governor Ndeitunga, who the former governor of the Ohangwena region, who has, you know, spent more time serving as governor of the Ohangwena region compared to the retired lieutenant general who just served for about 10 months as governor of the Ohangwena region. Pardon me. What has, you know, what do you feel? What credit needs to go to the former governor for what he has done, perhaps compared to what is currently being happening when the retired lieutenant general got into power as the governor?
Yeah, to go on that, I think it's always not so easy to scale someone over a long-serving person, or the Right Honorable former governor has done. And so to accomplish, or so to give credit, I would say the Right Honorable former governor of the region has done extra miles. Most of the projects that are under review, if you have already, or if you have critically analyzed on the speech, you would say they were pending, and upon arrival of the new governor, that is when it went to 100% accomplishment. So I would say the former governor has done his level best to make sure that there are more successes, and he has left a gap, or he has left some pending issues or some pending developmental plans, of which I want to believe the current governor has just taken up to the next stage until the final completion. So I would say the Right Honorable former governor has done his level best. He has left a legacy, and the current governor is taking the legacy to a certain extent, and is taking it to a further and further extent, which will will serve in the best interest of the people of Ohangwena region, so to say.
Do you believe that it's going to be an easy task for him to, you know, take the region to newer heights? Of course, taking into consideration his role as retired Inspector General of the Namibian Police Force.
Having known the current governor for quite a long time now, and for him having served a big organization, of which we want to believe he has never failed this far, and him being the governor this far has not failed his task. I want to believe that although it's not going to be an easy task, the road is not always smooth, but wherever there are going to be tough journeys, it's always leading to a smooth destination. So I would say, in as much as the governor is focused, is committed to serving the people of Ohangwena region, I want to believe strongly and immensely that he is going to do his level best to take the region to the higher standards, of which he is already doing, and he is committed to doing what he has been and what is supposed to be done.
Let's talk about what the governor has mentioned in his speech in terms of some of the programs, the projects that are currently underway, that are currently under construction, especially, you know, in your field, sort of related to your field, which is the youth empowerment, youth development. Speaking about the Enana complex, where he said that it's been prolonged. How much of a challenge is this, you know, to the youth who are trying to take sports to newer heights, especially, you know, when it comes to sport participation, knowing that the Nana or Ohangwena region is quite a team that also does very well, especially in sports as well, especially in the Namibian Newspaper Cup when it comes to the regions competing against each other.
Yeah, although Ohangwena is one of the most and more commendable region when it comes to sport, I would want to reference back to, if I will have to take you back when the Bavaria team came in Namibia after the recently completed Cup. The Right Honorable Vice President of the Republic of Namibia, on her address to welcome them back home, she mentioned that they will do tirelessly to make sure that they construct sport facilities in every constituency of every region in Namibia. So I'm of this opinion and of highest belief that what has been said should work hand in hand with what the Right Honorable Governor is doing to ensure that sport facilities are taken to the highest level, and there are being other strong consideration as far as sport is concerned in the region.
Absolutely. The governor also mentioned, you know, some of the other projects as well, especially education being quite important aspect that needs to be addressed as well. What is your feeling to what he just said, especially on that when it comes to education?
Yeah, so as a teacher by profession, I'm quite impressed by that. The governor, alongside with the regional council, they are working tirelessly to make sure that the education system in the entire region is uplifted to a certain height. So I was impressed to hear that the government has allocated funds to construct and build more schools and classes across the region. As I've already highlighted it, that we have 234 schools in the region,
right.
and not all those schools have proper infrastructures, and not all schools have a conducive learning environment.
Yeah.
But this far, the governor has highlighted that they are doing their level best to make sure that they are constructing classrooms, to make sure that the education system is taking place in a conducive and free and equally accessible education to all kids. So I'm impressed, and I'm quite sure that in as much as the governor is doing his level best to make sure that they are pushing on the side of education, we are expecting good results, and of course we are positive of the development of plans that they have in hand when it comes to the said education setting.
But what about the pace of that now coming into power, coming into effect? Because if you talk about the infrastructure being built and the pace that is also being taken to have those structures in place, or perhaps those improvements brought to life, there seems to be a very sluggish pace of that. It's very slow. What do you have to say to that?
Yeah, I can attest to that. And having known Ohangwena region almost within the 12 constituencies that we have,
right. I
have traveled to so many different places, and I would say really the construction pace is quite low, and it's somehow affecting the education system. Yeah, so looking at the far east of Ohangwena region, Oshikunde and the Congo constituents, Mdaungilo and the Pembe respectively, we have schools that are still deep in the villages that do not even have access roads. If you don't acquire yourself a 4x4, forget about giving and delivering education to the people, to the Namibian child. So I'm of this opinion that they need to pace up, they need to fasten up the process, more especially that it should be the first priority to make sure that education projects that are in place are being the first on track to make sure that they are delivered on time, effectively and efficiently.
Absolutely. I don't know if you're into farming, but most of the people who are from the north, of course, everybody has land who does, communal farming.
Yes.
Drought has been one of the issues, was first and foremost also mentioned in the State of the Region address.
Yeah.
Your experience, perhaps, in terms of what drought has really, how drought has affected the Ohangwena region, and perhaps how the effect that it has on people who are, really relying on communal farming.
Yeah. As a resident of Ohangwena region, I was born and raised in a small village where we practice farming. And having seen this live since birth up to date, also to say, I could really comment that the drought of this year has affected us negatively. And on the side of livestock and animal production, I would like to commend the governor that he has made a positive and a good relationship with our neighborhood country. So most of the farmers are now relying in Angola to make sure that at least their heads are under tight and good control. But when it comes now to the power of now the whole body, so one cannot do anything. Energy is the ability to do everything. Yeah, so you could really tell that people have to work with struggle, so much of struggle, but we want to commend the government that they are providing the drought relief food, which, although it's not sufficient at points, but having heard or having seen or having witnessed, I would be a living testimony to say hunger is likely to strike us down. But in as much as the government is on our side, in as much as the regional office is there for us, I want to believe that they will do their level best to come to our rescue, although we are in a state of emergency when it comes to food production and cropping.
Absolutely. And on your last point about the farming, especially for those who are closer to the border, they are now going to have the benefit to have the animals have water from Angola, especially. But what about the ones that are further, such as places such as Enana, for instance, where we are finding ourselves, which is quite far from Angola at this moment?
Definitely.
What can you say to that?
Yeah, personally, I would take it to this point. It's always of equal importance that each and every resident of Ohangwena region take it personal to the extent of taking the utmost careship of their heads.
Yeah.
When it comes now, if it's too much, if you cannot sustain, if you cannot manage everything, there are markets, there are places, there are opportunities that are created to sell even our livestock. We have what is this, Midco?
Yeah.
They can come to your rescue in case of cases. But what I can advise the farmers out there in Ohangwena region and every corner of Namibia where they are practicing farming, they should take the utmost care and responsibility to do their level best to save their heads and make sure that we have something left for the community.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In conclusion, perhaps you can just give us a summary of what region you foresee, what you foresee the Ohangwena region to improve to be, what you hope and what your hope and dream as a resident of the Ohangwena region is for the future generation of this country.
Yeah. Not for so long, my wish is to convey Ohangwena region to commerce. Not just commerce in general, but the CBD of commerce. So this shouldn't be a dream not come true, but I would love to caution and call all the residents of Ohangwena region to hold hands as we make sure that we are working towards the development of our regions. In my final words, so to say, I would want to say everyone should take full responsibility and accountability of developing the region and driving it towards the rightful places and rightful heights of where we can call Ohangwena region a center of excellency, center of development, center of sustainable development goals, and make sure that we have enough to feed the nation, more especially the residents of Ohangwena region, so to say.
Absolutely. Abed, thank you so much for your expert knowledge and also giving us the platform to hear from your perspective as a teacher,
Yes.
to also give us the summary and your analysis on the State of the Region address. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely.
All right.
Abed Hafeni, who is a youth advocate and also a teacher by profession, was of course sharing his expert knowledge and also analysis of the State of the Region address that we just heard earlier on from the governor of the Ohangwena region, retired Lieutenant General Sebastian Ndeitunga. Now, this also has brought us to the end of this production of the State of Region address. But of course, we have one more region to hear from the Oshikoto region, which is of course coming to you live on NBC platforms in just a couple of days. So stay tuned to NBC to hear about when exactly it's going to take place and of course the time and place that is going to be bringing you. For myself, Johnny Konja, and the entire crew, thank you so much for watching. It's goodbye for now. Now, it wouldn't be fair to just, end this program without hearing exactly from the educators of this region. Now, we are now going to engage the lecturer at the Namibian University of Science and Technology, that is Joshua Pius Shifeta, to just give us his perspective and also understanding from the State of the Region address that we just heard earlier. We do apologize for cutting you short, but of course we do bring you back into the comfort of your home to hear more from the Ohangwena region in terms of the State of the Region address, the development, as well as the future plans that this mighty region has. Pius, thank you so much for making the time to talk to us this afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. Perhaps just give us your analysis of what the governor has mentioned in his speech, and what perhaps also stood out for you. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. I'll be focusing more on the issue of challenges.
Okay.
Although there are also achievements that he mentioned, but I would like to focus more on the challenges that he pointed out.
Yeah.
Most importantly, he spoke about issues of road network. But then we do have developmental projects that are going on now at the moment, and that is even good for our students, those that are studying transport management. Sometimes we take them there just for them to see how things are being done, and also that are studying supply chain management. It's important for them to understand the issue of procurement.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes ago we have also this Onuno Shikango, that one, the police checkup point, that one.
Yeah.
If you know that there was also some comments, some are good, some are bad regarding that. It's because people, they didn't understand the issue of public procurement.
Okay.
Now, as a university, also need to make sure that we educate the public regarding public procurement.
Yes.
That is also a challenge, and it could be a solution. If we educate the public regarding public procurement, they might be able to understand most of these things. And also he spoke about something important, the high employment rate. That is now when we have to talk about the youth.
Yeah.
That is something serious.
Absolutely.
Now, when we have to look at that, when there is a challenge, we need to give a solution, or maybe insights as how can we overcome this. From the point of view now from academics, I feel like it's quite important for us to engage in terms of research and development.
Yeah.
Most of the times, institution, we are engaging into research, but now the part of development, that is the one that we leave out. What is important is for us to do research, and we develop. That's what is important.
So what are some of those opportunities then on that very same point of youth unemployment and the opportunities that lie in the region for youth to be employed or create employment for themselves?
Yes, it's a very good question. Now, when you look at what he said also, when he spoke about the opportunities, we can also capitalize on that one, whereby he spoke about us measuring into animal husbandry, the issue of trade collaboration with our neighbor, Angola.
Yeah.
Also, we need to understand that as far as we are talking about some of these elements, also we need to understand that we must have frameworks, that is to guide us how to do these things. Otherwise, it will be pointless for us to talk about something and then we don't have a framework to govern whatever we have to do. Now, regarding the youth, there are various projects. Last year, I think I attended something regarding that youth program whereby there are funds reserved for that and that.
Right.
But I'm not quite sure about the requirements. That is another issue. Now, talking about the unemployment rate, if you look at the rate of graduates that are to graduate but no employment, again, it's something that is questionable. But the good news is that he spoke about the issue of IUM to start next year. Again, if you are from a region and let's say you study office management or something, at least there will be something for you.
Yeah.
Development also, it will give solutions to some of these current issues. Lastly, if time allows that, I would like to talk about the issue of capital budget. He spoke about it, which is also a challenge for us to be able to achieve our regional targets when it comes to development.
Yeah.
All I know is that development for a region, it will lead us to achieve national development. But now, when we don't have adequate funds allocated to some of these capital projects, it could be a challenge. If we are to point out, let's say, the issue of housing, even in the region, it's a problem. We do have students that are coming. Now, what about accommodation? It's another issue. Now, also, when you look at that and you bring in the issue of regional councillors, or if I may say town councillors for Enana, again, it's another issue. If we are to develop a town, we need also to relocate people. How about now compensation? How about the framework to make sure there is a smooth operation regarding that? I think you have a question.
Absolutely. I have a question on especially, what you just mentioned now, which is the consultation between the residents, that being students also being part of them, and also the educators as well, two local authorities and the regional councillors in terms of this very challenge as well. How will they be made aware if these are not raised, if these challenges are not raised to them?
Exactly. That's a good question. In the line of my work, well, there is something very much important, a good concept that is called a public-private partnership. Now, if we bring that one, it will assist us to answer your question.
Yeah.
To say that we need also the public, we need also the private sector, and also institutions to come together on one board, and we discuss the burning issues. That will help us. Now, if we don't have such integration, again, it's a problem. We have to have that. Even nowadays, institutions, they are having also institutional integrations whereby they come together. If we are to host, for instance, a career fair for NAST, we invite IUM, UNAM, they come on board. That is what we want. Although people, they might think that we are competitors, but in reality, we are trying to make sure that every person is included in whatever we are doing.
Which is a very good thing.
Yes.
Let's talk about another area, especially when it comes to, as a lecturer, you deal with a lot of students, and one of the challenges that also are experienced here is the high teenage pregnancy as well. Perhaps the university's take on addressing and also educating those that are in the community to perhaps reduce these numbers as a challenge to the lack of education and the lack of understanding behind the challenges that come with teenage pregnancy.
Exactly. Now the current generation also sometimes is a bit challenging. They know what they want, they know to get whatever they want.
Yeah.
Now we need to understand that if we want to educate the public, we can also look at public lectures. It's not only to talk about issues regarding the university, also we can identify something within a community. By the way, as a university also we need to make impacts within a community.
Society, that's right.
We have to do that. How do we do that? We can start off with the headmen, then the councillors, then the governors also if there's a need. We need also to understand what are the burning issues regarding what some of these students that are coming from nearby societies or communities. We do have some of them, and also as a university we do have some programs to do that, and also to educate them when it comes to the teenage pregnancy, how to take them themselves and all that. We have that. But like I said, it's not adequate. How about those that are not part of the university? How should we do it? It's only through what I said, public education. We need to go out there sometimes and talk to them. How? Through headmen, councillors. They need to submit also to us that in my constituency we have this issue. Then we can be able to resolve some of these issues. By the way, I also want to highlight on something, the issue of, he spoke about the issue of land, whereby he spoke about illegal fencing. Again, that one calls for a public lecture. We need to educate people. Why should you stop doing that? How do you stop that? Is there a framework to prepare them? Yes or no? That is now to come from academics and from now the regional point of view if there is a case.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if we are just to talk about some of these things but we don't have framework to act, that's a problem. And lastly, also, if there's a need also to amend some of the FMSI laws, we can do that. We need to make sure that we have to try to make some of these laws to meet the needs of now and also for the future. Otherwise, the previous laws, some of them, they are outdated, given the growth rate, given the population, given many, many elements. So now for us to understand this and to combat this at once, we need also to understand that we need to have frameworks to assist us. Could be in terms of transport, in procurement, in land, anything. As long as there must be a framework, we can be able to win.
Absolutely. This is all for the benefit of the economy of the region. Perhaps in conclusion, what would you like to to see in terms of the future plans that come into place, and perhaps the region that the Ohangwena region that you hope to see in the future?
That's a very good question. Firstly, I would like to have a region with peace. How do we maintain peace? The governor, Honorable, spoke about crime rate, gender-based violence. Also last year, I attended something regarding that, whereby people were complaining about this, and normally we know this from the news. Most of the times there are reports here and there. First of all, we have to do away with crimes. We have to educate the public regarding that. Starting from our students, we have to tell them that stay away from drugs. How do we do that? He spoke about the challenge of us having sport facilities. Now, if we develop that, that will also assist us to make sure that they come back from whatever they are doing. Otherwise, they'll be bored home. Doing what? Nothing to play, nothing. So they have to resort for what? Alcohol, drug abuse. And also one thing that I would like to see is the issue of integration within the region, whereby we have to talk about the industry captains. We are talking about private companies. Also, they need to come on board. By the way, when we do have third-year students that are now on internships, now we also need to make sure that once they have to go for internships, at least there is a room for them to be absorbed by the industry within the region.
Not only by government, but in public, but private institutions
Exactly.
as well.
Yes. They need also to open doors for these students. They are from the region. Let us also accommodate them. Let us also allow them to implement what we are teaching them so that our region can grow. Otherwise, it's pointless for us to train them here. Now they have to go to, for instance, Erongo region. I'm not saying they should not go, but I mean, from home, at least we must start from home. It will
Absolutely.
do
And
good.
I want to ask something that you just highlighted in your speech, in your response right now, in terms of the private institutions or companies that are here in the Ohangwena region, the corporate social responsibility. How are they performing on that end? Do they give back to the Ohangwena communities? And is that faring well? Is there perhaps any improvement that you want to see in those?
Yes, that's a very good question as well. Last time when there was this issue of, what is this, Expo. The one for Ohangwena.
Yeah.
Yes, I read on the news, or let's say I heard from the news that a given private company gave something, 100,000.
Yeah.
It's a good thing. But how about other companies? Where are they? They are silent about this. And then this is a standard they're supposed to meet. When we have to operate in the community, of course, we're supposed to give back.
Definitely, yeah.
It's a standard they're supposed to meet that is coming from the International Standard Organization that you have to give back to the community. Now, talk about that, and let's talk about the bursaries for the students, our students. We also want to hear that a given organization or company, private company from Enana or from Ohangwena region, they are giving this to our students. We'll be very much happy. Or, by the way, if, for instance, we do have Transport and Logistics Society.
Yeah.
Now, we also need them to sponsor our students, not only about money, even something, even the whatever clothing, whatever they want to give, they can do that. We need also them to participate into this. It's very much important for them to participate. That's the only way we can win.
So your final remarks before you let go?
Final remarks, I just want to say thank you for the chance and also for our governor, and also to appreciate the work that has been done by our previous governors already, because it's like, it serves like a foundation that was laid, and the current governor, possibly again the future governor. So of course there is already a foundation for them just to build on that foundation, and also to listen to the public. That is something important. Most importantly, the youth. That is important. They are very much, they feel like they are not taken care of. I mean, I was also a graduate, and I know that how it feels. Absolutely. It's not easy. Yeah. So that is my closing remarks to say that please let us also look at what? Our youth. Let us do something for them, especially our graduates. Absolutely. They really need something also from that. And before I say goodbye, the issue of internships. Also, I'm appealing to the relevant authorities also to make sure that when we send our students for internships, at least they should give them something, even $1,000. Imagine it's not easy for someone to be there for 3 months, but nothing, no allowance. Yeah. Transport, accommodation, food, cosmetics. I mean, also we need to review policies, like I said earlier, that we need to amend some of these things to say that they should be able to meet or address the current or contemporary affairs affecting our youth. Absolutely. Otherwise, thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much for what you just said. Thank you so much for your expert knowledge, and we wish you nothing but all the best for all that needs to, put in place here in the Ohangwena region. Thank you so much, Pius.
Thank you, sir.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
That was Pius Joshua Shifeta, a lecturer at the University of Namibian University of Science and Technology, was just sharing his expert knowledge and also appealing to the, of course, the local and law enforcers to, of course, put into place so much that has to be done, from internships to also granting the youth an opportunity to grow and be empowered in the Ohangwena region. That now really brings us to the very end of this broadcast. The State of the Region address in the Ohangwena region that we just saw being tabled by the retired Lieutenant General of the Namibian Police Force, that is it's Sebastian Ndeitunga, who just tabled or delivered the State of the Region address. That also brings it to the end. So for myself, John Ikonja, the entire crew, thank you so much for watching. It's goodbye for now.